Hi, Les Arnott here from Photo Tree, and we're just going to have a look at actually getting a black and white image from a colour image and the best ways to do that and the different ways of doing that. Now, first of all, we're in Lightroom, so we're using Lightroom at the moment, not Photoshop, and we're going to look at the development part of this. So at the moment we're in the library, as you can see at the top there, so we're going to go to develop. And if we look at the right hand side, we've got these various boxes, and the basic one is important. And also you'll see at the top there, treatments, we've got colour and we've got black and white. You can also see that further down, and you can use either method. On the colours here, you've got HSL, you've got colour, and you've got black and white. So either way, we can switch straight away to black and white by clicking one of those buttons. If I just go back to the colour, you can see if I go back to the top and click on that one, we get the same thing. Now when we do that, you will see these sliders. You go down to the colour bar there. You can't see that. You can actually close that with this button. You can turn it off or on. So we need to make sure that that's on. And just by dragging these different coloured sliders, you'll see that it's affecting the image. So that's affecting the reds within the image. The orange, there's a lot of orange in that image, and you can actually see the difference there. As I drag that, makes a big difference to the image. The yellows, and so on. Okay, so for this image, let's have a look at the yellows first. Now I think just to get a bit of contrast between the subject and the background, we'll make the background lighter, which is mainly yellow, so I'm going to drag that up slightly. The greens, we'll have a look at how that affects the image. And there's not a great deal on there, so I'm going to leave that at the centre. The aqua, again, not much on that one. Now the blue, I'm hoping, and yes, if you look at the nose of the deer, when I drag this up slightly, can you see it's just highlighting the nose slightly, and that's quite nice, I like that. So I'm going to drag that up to about there, about 41. I say all images are different, you've got to experiment using this, but you can just see how much it actually alters the black and white image. Purple, now what the purple's doing, not a lot, but it is affecting the highlight on the eye slightly, so I'm going to put that up slightly as well. And the magenta, just on the nose again, if you look at the nostril, it's just adding a bit of highlight on there, so I'm going to put that to about there. And that's my colour filters, the black and white mix. So we've affected the image that much. And I'm going to go back up now, slide up to the basics, so we can add more contrast. And black and white images usually look good with a bit of contrast on there, or you can go the other way and get a nice effect. You can go really take the contrast down, and some people like that type of style. So the contrast can really add a bit of drama to your picture. Obviously you can take the highlights down. So all these buttons that you can use on your colour images, on the basics, apply to this as well. You could just take the shadows down or whatever. The whites up. So obviously white and blacks will also affect the contrast of the image. So I'm quite liking that. The clarity, that will make a big difference too. You can get this really gritty look. If you take it down, a very soft effect. So I'm probably going to leave that just very, very slightly, about +7. That gives a nice effect. Okay, so that's how we can really get the best from a black and white photo. There are other ways, and sometimes it's nice to use the actual presets that come with Lightroom. And I'm just going to reset this, which will take it back to where it was originally. And you see I've got a little beetle here, which I'm going to get rid of first, a little fly or a beetle there flying. So I'm just going to use the spot removal tool and click on that. And that looks okay, so I'll just take that back off and let's remove that. I've got a tiny bit of noise in the background. Although we're zoomed into 100%, it's not a lot that, but we'll just take that down slightly. Okay, so that's my basic adjustments for that. It's come out really nice actually without having to make many adjustments on it. Okay, so now let's look at the presets. So on the left hand side you'll see the word presets there, and if we click on that, towards the top you may have less of a list, it may be something like this, so you can actually extract the items within the menus by clicking the little triangle. So we'll go to the black and white filters, and this will put a blue filter on, this will put a green filter, you see how it's infrared, orange filters. Now these are quite good in one break, because if you click on one and you think, yeah, that looks okay, but I'm not, this orange filter I think look nice, but then I can progress onto this side and I can play with, you know, if I want a bit more shadow I drag to the left to make it darker, or I drag up to make it a bit lighter. So the presets can give you a good starting point, and then you can progress on that and get what you want. I could put more clarity on, make it a bit more gritty, or I could take it down and make it very, you know, a little contrast. So it's really playing with all the sliders. But the presets are nice, and also the black and white presets, those are the filter presets. So we'll look at the black and white. The eye contrast basically gives a really nice effect straight from the off. You know, so it applies different filters in this section. It's changed all that, it's changed settings, it's took the highlights down, boosted the shadows up slightly, and all these different effects. It's done automatically. And we got a low contrast. We've got black and white look 1, look 2. So sometimes the presets are a nice way to start on the image and get something close to what you want. And then you can tweak using the right hand side to get the exact look that you want for your image. I'm going to go back to this eye contrast setting. I quite like that. And I may just boost the white slightly. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that. Okay, that's the first stage. We'll look probably next month, in next month's magazine, we'll look at using black and white in Photoshop and doing things like colour popping and that type of effect with a black and white image, where you can bring some colour back into the image. So we'll be looking at that next month. Thanks for that. I hope you enjoyed it.